It's
And
Oddworld.
Hey oddballs, I'm your host Jensen, and welcome to episode 47. It is a beautiful day today, and I am choosing to sit here and record. Mostly because, if you don't know by now, I don't really have a lot of opportunities to just sit and record a whole bunch, so I have one of those opportunities and here I am. Not that you care, so let's go on. It is Gemini season. We're going to learn who a Gemini is. Here we go.
Zodiac.
I'm into that.
Gemini is a zodiac sign that represents two different personalities in one, making them expressive and quick-witted. They are sociable, communicative, and always ready for fun, but can suddenly become serious, thoughtful, and restless. Their curiosity about the world knows no bounds, and they often feel like there is not enough time to experience everything they want to see. I hope you learned a little something about a Gemini, and as always, I got this from zodiacsign.com, and we are going to move on to stories.
This comes from demon_spawn82 on Reddit.
This is a story of my dad's friend's mom. This is kind of a game of telephone, so take everything with a grain of salt. When my dad's friend was a baby, who I'm just going to call Ron, his mom, who I'm going to call Meg, put him down for a nap in his crib. It was one of those cribs where the front goes up and down. Once she put him down, she heard this beautiful music playing all throughout the house. Meg looked all over the house for the source of the music, but found nothing. When she came back to Ron's room to check on him, his crib's gate was pulled down and he was about to fall. Meg rushed to catch him, and right as she did, the music stopped. From what my dad has told me, there has been a lot more weird stuff that has happened in Ron's childhood home. So flash forward, and Ron is about 6. Ron's dad heard him talking in the living room. When his dad asked Ron who he was talking to, Ron said, "My friend," and pointed at an empty rocking chair. Ron's dad asked him to describe what his friend looked like, and he proceeded to describe a Union soldier to a T. Like I said, he was 6 at the time and would have no idea what that was. I've been thinking about these stories for a while, and I just needed somewhere to put them. I'm not even sure what I would do, because first of all, music playing throughout your whole house, that's weird, that's suspicious. No. Just no. And then having your child see something? No. I'm sorry, but no. I am dreading it the day whenever if my kid has some kind of imaginary friend or does some spooky shit like this. Like, no thank you. I will not. But we're gonna move on because oof.
This comes from Obligatory Distress on Reddit.
This story just says the word suicide, but that's it. But if anybody wants to skip over, you can skip over to 746. I have been haunted by something for roughly 7 to 8 years. And to this day, I cannot figure out exactly what it is. And before anyone asks, I am psychologically and medically fine and have always been. This all started around 2015, where my electronics would start acting up, and it got worse during the span of 3 years. In 2018, I experienced severe things like sleep paralysis, bruises on my body, night terrors, and I even got hospitalized for a suicide attempt due to all of this. Another thing was seeing glowing white eyes in the dark. Whispers, too. Mostly at night. Either jumbled voices all together whispering, or just my name. The weirdest thing by far I had experienced at that time was skin discoloration. And by that I mean, my skin was the color gray. Sometimes even a dark color gray on my hands. No explanation was ever given for that. In 2019, it got even worse. Which I didn't think was possible until I woke up with cuts on my arms and face. Not scratches, cuts. It had stopped for about 3 years, but now it's back. And this time, you guessed it, worse. It started again about 3 weeks ago, and I have been having blackouts, and I don't remember most things. The bruises have returned on my legs, and I've been having trouble sleeping. There is no logical explanation behind any of this, for me anyway, so I thought I would give Reddit a shot. Please help. I can't keep living like this. I meant to ask this person if they have been living in the same house or not this entire time. Most of you might say, well, that shouldn't make a difference. My only thought is either one, it's an attachment, or two, it's the house. I'm going to leave it for you to just ponder and wonder. Because if it's the house, I'm sure most of you would say, well, they can just move away. Well, let's be real. You should know by now that, that's just not practical for most people. And even within the span of 7 to 8 years, it's still not always practical for somebody to just pick up and move their whole life. Let's be real. It's just not a thing. That being said, what can this person do? Because this sounds horrific. It sounds so freaking terrifying that even reading it makes me feel like I shouldn't be reading it out loud. But anyhow, I'm going to leave that ball in your court. And God, I hope this hasn't happened to anybody else, but do you have a story like this or like the previous one? If you do, let me know. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And well, it's an odd world after all.
Oddballs. Go follow us on It's an Odd World After All podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Also, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. If you have a story you would like to share, email us at itsanoddworldafterall@gmail.com or message us on one of our social platforms. Don't forget to share us with your family and friends. And check out our website, itsanoddworldafterall.com.